Assessing quality. A central element of any academic study is the review of existing scholarship. To carry out such a review, it is imperative that the researcher finds the best academic publications in his or her area of research. Best here means that the publications are both of a high quality and relevant to the study. In this video, we discuss how you can find relevant publications. But first we will discuss how you can assess the quality of academic articles, journals, and books. Quality in academic publications is facilitated by a practice called peer review. When a researcher submits an article for consideration to an academic journal, the journal editor will try and find one or more scholars to read the article critically and assess its contents. Those scholars are called peer reviewers. They are colleagues who review the manuscript independently of each other. The peer reviewers provide feedback and make an assessment as to whether the article is ready for publication. Articles for consideration can be immediately rejected or they can be immediately accepted for publication. Most commonly, however, peer reviewers will recommend that the author revise and resubmit the manuscript after incorporating their feedback. To keep the peer review process objective, peer review is often done anonymously, or we say blindly. In a single blind peer review, the author does not know who reviews the manuscript, but the reviewers do know who the author of the manuscript is. Ideally, though, the peer review process is double blind. In this case, neither the author nor the reviewers know each other's identities. The author removes all references to him or herself from the manuscript, and the editor does not reveal his or her identity when he sends on the manuscript to the reviewers. The reviewers' comments are also anonymized. When they are passed on to the author, they will simply state Reviewer 1, Reviewer 2, or Reviewer 3, depending on the number of reviewers. The peer review process serves as a type of quality control for academic publications. It is for this reason that double-blind peer review articles are considered more prestigious than articles that are published without a peer review or through an open or single-blind review process. Once a peer-reviewed article has been published, its importance depends on the number of times it is used by other scholars. For some publications, it becomes quickly apparent that they are considered to be important contributions to the debate. These are the books and articles scholars refer to time and time again in their written work. You will recognize these through your own readings. For other books and articles, it might not immediately be clear how often they are used by other scholars. One of the main indicators of the importance of a publication is the number of citations a publication has received. How do you know how many citations an article has received? For this, you can consult the Social Science Citation Index. First, go to the University Library Catalog. Search for Web of Science, or the Social Science Citation Index. Once you are logged on to the catalog, enter and click through the Social Science Citation Index, you enter your search terms. In this example, I've searched for Robert Putnam's article, Diplomacy and Domestic Politics. After I hit click, this item pops up. Here you see that the article was cited 1900 times. Sometimes you don't have a particular author in mind yet when you set out to find literature. A good strategy then is to search for articles in academic journals. But how do you differentiate between high quality and low quality journals? One way in which academics assess journals is by comparing their impact factors. The impact factor is the annual average number of citations for articles published in a journal. For instance, the 2015 impact factor for the journal Public Administration is 1.922. This means that in 2015, articles published in this journal received an average of almost but not quite 2 citations. Journal impact factors are also listed in the Web of Science. You can check them yourself. You can check yourself which journals in the field of public administration have the highest impact factors. Again, access Web of Science using the University Library Catalog. Once you are logged on, go to Journal Citation Reports on the upper tab. Now, select SSCI in the left-hand tab. Then select the year you're interested in, and finally select the category or the discipline. Here you can click on Public Administration or Political Science, for instance. Once you've selected those categories and click on Search, you will end up with a list of journals in the field of public administration ranked by impact factors. Such a list can be very useful to you if you're not yet familiar with the most important journals in your field. A word of caution though. More generic journals tend to have higher impact factors than journals specializing in a certain topic, such as, for instance, this one on number 35, Nonprofit Management and Leadership. It makes sense that a more specialized journal would have a smaller readership and therefore attract fewer citations than a more generic one. The fact that this journal is listed at number 35, therefore, does not make it a bad journal, and you should not automatically discount it from your own research if you work in this area. You should be more cautious with journals that are not included in these reports. Unless the journal has only been recently created and is therefore not ranked yet, an unranked journal probably means that the journal is not very important in your area of study. If you are not entirely sure what the high-quality journals in your area of study are, check in which journals prominent scholars in your field have published or ask your thesis supervisor. Like journal articles, scholars often assess books based on how and where they were published. As a general rule, book manuscripts that have been peer-reviewed are considered of a higher quality than book manuscripts that have been published without peer review. Such a peer review of book manuscripts is commonplace at university presses, and these publishers are therefore considered to be the best in their field, especially those associated with top universities such as Harvard, Oxford, or Cambridge. Academic trade presses, such as Sage or Routledge, take second place in this hierarchy, followed by general trade presses, which are considered the least prestigious. Again, you should not derive too strong conclusions from this hierarchy. Even though every book published by an academic press, a university press or a trade press, will have been subject to peer review, it does not mean all their books are of top quality or that trade presses do not publish high-quality books. If you want to assess the quality of specific books, look up any reviews published in academic journals. If you are interested in a particular topic area, but you do not have a book title in mind yet, check out some of the past and present winners of academic book awards by professional organizations, such as the American Political Science Review. To conclude, when you are writing a paper or a thesis, it is important that you find high-quality academic sources. We have discussed how the peer review process serves as a way to ensure the quality of academic articles and books. Other ways to assess the quality of a publication is to consider the number of citations it has received and to consider the impact factor of the journal, or in case of books, the reputation of the academic press that published it. Knowing how to assess the quality of academic publications is the first step, though. Next, you need to consider how you will locate these high-quality publications. In the following video, we will give you some practical tips on how to find the best academic literature for your own project.